Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at not Battle Armor Cobra Commander, but Cobra Commander with combat armor. And the speculation, from me anyway, is that Battle Armor potentially could be owned by, like, Mattel. Battle Armor He-Man, Battle Armor Skeletor. Or maybe they just changed the name for some other reason. We'll never know. It really doesn't matter, because once this packaging is gone, he's whatever you want to call him. On the side, got a nice little artwork, Cobra Commander pointing. You've got the key, which if you follow Millennial Joe Fan on Instagram, done a lot of good work archiving what these mean. I'm not going to get into it here on the review. And then on the back, we've got the diorama shot. No Easter eggs here, although we do see the Serpentor iguana from the Deke cartoon. And I do wonder, I haven't really looked too closely to see, but I wonder if there's potentially a packaging variation where, you know, the human eyes are on the body in the package. I don't care either way, but it could be something they did, but it could also be something that would have been, you know, it would have affected the production too much for them to bother doing. But I think it would have been a neat little extra and could have compelled mint in box collectors, who I will never completely understand, to buy two, which is a good thing. You know, Chase packaging variants are they're ruthless, but they're very smart from the toy company perspective. So I did have the original Battle Armor Cobra Commander when it came out in 1987, but it never replaced Cobra Commander for me. It was he would put that on to go into battle, but it never became my default Cobra Commander. My default was the hooded version. Always. That was the one. That was my main Cobra Commander, and really, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, the helmet, much like it was in the cartoon, the helmet version was what he put on to go into battle. So this did replace the helmeted Cobra Commander for me. And I had, like I said, I really kind of hadn't thought about that before, but that's how that went. If you have not watched Operation Dragonfire, you should. We did a review of it on Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. You can find it in our archives. Or if you join the Audible Army Facebook group, you'll have access to the Audible Interlude wiki, which is fantastic. It is in progress and presumably always will be. Scale Model Joe's offered to put that together for us, and it's been an invaluable resource already. So the first thing I notice is I did not bring a Cobra Commander in here to do a comparison, because I wanted to see if this blue matched any of those. So I'm going to hit pause and you'll notice nothing, but I'm going to grab a Cobra Commander. And of course I do have that original we'll do a little comparison with. So that blue, well, it's got texture to it. It is a very similar blue. I would say it's so close. It's a little darker. Yeah, I can't say it's close enough to not matter. It is a little bit darker. But also there's so much texturing on it. So that kind of blows away my idea that he just puts the battle armor on over his existing uniform. Interesting. So we've got some mixed media on the battle armor, which I did not expect. But first, he's got a lot of accessories. First, let's take a look side by side with the OG. Well, obviously the biggest difference here is the eyes, that he's got the Snake Man style eyes like he does in the Deke cartoon. Sometimes, not always. versus the human eyes over here, the shapes are similar. And I think one of the controversial aspects of this one is that the armor on the new figure is more snug. It doesn't have as wide a profile. The upper arm pieces aren't quite as thick. The thigh pieces. But my argument there, well, and even here, the calves are done differently. My argument here is that if you just expanded these dimensions up to 1/12 scale, he would look goofy and bulky, having all of these parts sticking out as much as they do here. I appreciate the streamlined look that they've given it. I am curious to see where we will see these parts used in the future. They're very robot-y. And as we saw in the 25th anniversary line, those Battle Armor Cobra Commander legs were used a lot. The silver is shinier, and one of the things on the original figure, and it's lighter and shinier, and just look, it looks better. And I see a lot online, well, if they did it in 1987, why can't they do it now? And it's because of the process of manufacturing is different. Plastics are different. Paint apps are different. Tampos are different. The way everything works is different. And in general, we as collectors don't have enough information or knowledge of the manufacturing process to be able to say, oh, well, they should be able to do the same thing. Because we just don't know. But I think this is a nice streamlined update. I would have liked this blue to be a little lighter. I'm not going to lie. Or actually, I would have liked the silver to be a little lighter. But then you run into, does it still look like armor at this scale? I'm not sure. And, and who knows, maybe they've left themselves room for a retro variant. The chest piece is shaped very differently, but to be honest, I never loved this. These little pointy parts, like this did not seem like great chest armor on the original figure. It was done for design sake, but it's not a great piece of armor, whereas this covers a little more his vitals a little more successfully than this does. We've got that same hose right there. We've got the hose up here on the helmet, although it is now permanently attached on the new version, which is a good thing, and definitely scaled down a little bit. Got the Cobra on the belt buckle. Got the same style holster. I like it. It's not exactly what I would have done, but comparison-wise, I do like it. I think they did a good job. So now let's take a little closer look. There are those reptile eyes, which match up with the Once a Man Cobra Commander set. And I wish we had the lore. I wish there was somebody giving these the classics treatment, the Masters of the Universe classics treatment, or, the current mini comics treatment. I would love it if we were getting lore to go along with all of these. So the shoulder armor, let me zoom back out a little bit. The shoulder armor is attached to the torso, which I don't prefer. The best thing they've done with shoulder armor, and I need to go back and look at which figure this was. One of them had it where it was connected. See, so it doesn't move. Why do you do that design once and then never again? The best shoulder armor they've done, it was connected, it went around the peg. So it moved with the arm, and it also moved up and down. It was a fantastic design. And they have not used it again. Instead, they've done these kinds of things, which I don't believe this was the best way to do this. Because now you have that happening, which is not great. Whereas if this was connected inside the way that other figure was, this would move with the arm. So I don't love that. I wish they had done that differently. So if you can see, the legs are molded in the metallic color. Do we have an A? Oh, I like how that was done. Look, so we've got the swivel right there, the boot top swivel, as it were. But we've got this little piece up in the front that makes it look like more than just a cut joint. So that's a nice little touch. So these are this silver color, because you can tell that's plastic. That's the color of that plastic. But it does not have the swirlies in it like a lot of the Marvel Legends figures have. These appear to also be molded in silver plastic, but I guess they just got the black of the soles like up in there. But then you have paint here. They matched it up really, really well. The parts that are molded out of silver plastic and the parts that are painted silver are matched really nicely. You can tell, but I'm satisfied with how they did this work. What I don't love, though, wow, look at, okay, so you can see the belt. I think what it is my guy's a little crooked here. The belt, it's actually, the cod piece is sculpted, so the belt sits right on top of it. And I think my guy was just a little misaligned, so it looked like that was crooked, when in fact it was not. So that just goes back down into place. The sculpt of the Cobra emblem is fantastic, with nice red app on there. I like the straps. All the color matchup looks good. Plastic feels great. He's a great feeling figure. We're at a point, again, where I feel pretty comfortable and confident with the plastic quality on all the classified figures that are coming. Very RoboCopy. Like he really looks RoboCopy. Or RoboCop-esque would be perhaps a better way of saying that. Although I guess he does look sort of like a RoboCopy. There we go. All right. So this is a good classified interpretation. As I said, it's not done exactly as I would have wanted it done, but it looks good. I mean, this is a good Battle Armor Cobra Commander. Let's check out the accessories. We've got the other head with the human eyes, which I guess I'm going to go ahead and pop on there now, because while I appreciate the once a man reptile face being under there, I'm not displaying it that way. There we go. It's funny how different that makes it look with the lighter Caucasian skin. It does make a difference in the presentation. He's got his backpack, which is also molded in that silver plastic that almost looks like it wants to be swirly, but isn't. And I am going to put it on. So there's a debate about how the backpack is supposed to go on. The card art shows one thing, other materials show another thing. I'm just going to, oh, maybe I'm not though, because look, if you put it on the classified figure that way, it sits way too high. So anybody that grew up thinking, well, not thinking, because I don't know if it's ever really been clarified. I'm sure Carson Metaxas has asked Ron Rudat about it. So on classified, it goes this way or it looks dumb. It goes right in. Got a little bit of a contour on the backpack, so it sits a little more snugly than some of the other classified backpacks. And the peg is the right length, the right fit. Good backpack. We've got a few alternate hands, which is a nice touch and means that they sculpted, like these aren't just reuse because they've got that armor plate on them. So these are new hands, and they've got the pointing left hand, which is nice, and I will be using. Let me go ahead and just put that on there right now. So he comes with trigger C-grips. Oh, I'm so happy to finally have a pointing left hand. Look at that. That's great. What do you think of that, Tom? Very nice. That's funny. I say, what do you think of that, Tom? And there are two meanings there, and if you follow the comments on these videos, you may know which Toms I'm referring to. I love that it's just straight up his original blaster. That was important to me. Out of everything on this figure, for some reason, I was really, really happy that they actually did just adapt that original unique blaster. Because that was, I don't know why, but I really dug that when I was a kid, that he had a new, kind of more serious looking piece. It does have a port for blast effects in the front, and I don't think this is going to fit in that holster. I'm not in look reasonable. Well, I guess it does. That's strange. I mean, I'm going to put it in his hand anyway, but that is odd, although it is accurate because the original figure has an empty holster, suggesting that this is supposed to fit in that. But we are just going to put that right in his hand there, and that is how he's going on the shelf. There we go. Very nice. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And then finally, we have the bonus Serpentor figure. We got, oh yeah, we've got a little articulation. Shoulders. The legs are all on swivel joints, which is a nice little touch, and that's about it. But that's okay. I mean, I don't need much for this. A little flexible tail. It's not going to hold any poses, but it's flexible a bit. That's a great little iguana. I dig it. That's a nice little added value piece there. For those who know, it's hilarious. For those who don't, it's like, oh, cool, it's an iguana. I'll put it with naga hide or something. So there you go. Finally, battle armor, Cobra Commander with combat armor. Looks cool. Looks really cool. I could see them. I wouldn't mind lighter blue and all painted silver, much lighter like the original. And if they want to do that as a retro, I'm in. I'll buy it, you know. But this one looks very good, and I'm very happy with it. So nice work, Hasbro. Backpack works, which is a big thing. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends about needless things. And the best way you can support the channel is to share. Share a video. Share this video. Share any video you like somewhere on socials. It takes like a second, but that's the best way to support the channel. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Cobra.
Smash that like button if you like needless things.